Hello, everyone. I hope the semester has been going well so far. Time has flown as we're so close to the end of the semester. And to end the semester with some tips, the counselor Monica, and our success coach are actually going to be completing a counselor and success coach series where we're going to be sharing some videos with you from now until the end of the semester. So hopefully they help you with the motivation that you need. And you can get some good ideas and tips from our series to help you through the end of the semester. One thing that I wanted to cover for this week's video was our drop deadline for the 16-week courses, which is coming up Friday, November 18th. So if you feel like any courses haven't been going so well, it is important that you drop them to make sure that you're not too stressed about them. Although dropping may not be the best option for you. And some students may want to know, well, what is the difference between a W, if that's something that I would get, versus maybe getting a non-passing grade? So that you can get some idea and figure out if dropping the course is a good option for you or not. We were going to talk about that today. So an F grade or a non-passing grade versus a W, what exactly is the difference? If you're kind of debating and you're not sure what it is that you would like to do, I hope this slide will help. So with a non-passing grade or an F grade per se, the grade does affect your GPA. Why your GPA is so important is because if it does drop below a 2.0, this could eventually result in academic probation. The reason why I say eventually may result in academic probation is because typically if you do drop below the 2.0 mark, that doesn't automatically lead to probation, as you do get a warning. However, eventually, if you aren't able to bring your GPA back up, we could remain there, and it isn't something that we want to do because being on academic probation could affect our financial aid. So that's one piece where the grade could affect your GPA and lead into affecting other areas when it comes to school. Now, if you do retake the course and you get a new grade, that new grade is actually the new grade that's going to be calculated into the GPA. And while that previous grade, whether it's an F or another non-passing grade, is going to remain on your record in terms of like you'll be able to see it, it's not actually going to be counted towards your GPA. And if you are interested in transferring, the university where you're trying to transfer to will take the highest grade, and that's the one that they will calculate into the GPA. For some students, however, depending on what you are transferring to, nursing, for example, the grade could work a little bit differently. So it's important that you make sure you talk to a counselor, especially talking to specific programs that you might be interested in applying, to see how a specific grade could affect you. Now, on the other hand, if you do not retake the class, it does remain on your record of your transcript GPA. So that will remain there. Now, on the other hand, if you do decide to drop a course and you get a W, well, it automatically becomes a W. This class won't affect your GPA, but it does affect your completion ratio. And at that point, if your completion ratio drops below 50%, that may result in progress probation, which, as you see on the GPA side, it's the academic probation. On the completion, it's the progress probation. Now, if it drops below a 67% when it comes to completion, that could affect your financial aid. So that's why it's important to take these two into account. Now, I'm sure some of you may be asking, well, what exactly is completion? Let's say you have 4 classes that you're taking, 2 of those classes you receive W's in. That would obviously make it for 2 of the other classes to be classes that you are still passing. So your completion ratio in that scenario would be a 50% completion ratio, which at that point you wouldn't be on progress probation because you're at 50%, not below. I mentioned that you would not be on progress probation, but at 50%, it is below the 67, so that could affect your financial aid. If you are planning to drop a class, it is important that if you have the chance to check in with financial aid to make sure you understand how this could affect your financial aid, if it affects your financial aid. Now, as we mentioned with the non-passing grade or F grade, if you do retake the class that you got a W in, the new grade gets calculated into your GPA. Obviously, the previous grade was not originally calculated, but if you do get a letter grade for when you retake the class, at that point, that will be calculated into your GPA. If you have additional questions about this and you want to determine whether dropping the class is a good idea or not, I would highly recommend that you meet with a counselor. And if for some reason you are unable to meet with a counselor for a full appointment, you can always check in with a counselor for a drop-in appointment. And in order to schedule an appointment with a counselor, you can do 2 things. One, or a few things actually. You can email me, Counselor Preciado, and there's my email if you want to meet with me. Or you can also contact El Camino's counseling office. One, by emailing them at counseling@elcamino.edu. You can also reach them by phone at 310-660-3442. Or you can fill out this form stack document online, which I have included it in one of my announcements, so you can go ahead and access it there. Or you can also meet with someone by going in person to Student Services Building, second floor. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30, and you can check in with the front desk to schedule a counseling appointment. I hope you all found some of this information helpful. As always, if you need any support, feel free to reach out to myself, the counselor, or our success coach so that we can help you out, and we would be more than happy to chat. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.